Press Briefing. I am Press Secretary Philomena Robertson. Thank you so much for joining us. To the listeners and viewers who join us every week to be informed of developments taking place within and across government and also within your communities, thank you so much for tuning in. To those of you joining us for the first time, welcome. Members of the media present, thank you for being here and for continuing to include reports on the work of government in your daily or weekly newscasts and various publications. With me this morning are the Minister for Trade, Industry, Cooperatives and Carriacou Affairs, Honorable Oliver Joseph, who is also head of the government's negotiating team. He will be wearing that hat this morning as he provides an update on negotiations with the Grenada Union of Teachers. He will also provide updates on decisions coming out of this week's cabinet meeting. The Minister with responsibility for tertiary education, skill development and educational outreach, Honorable Pamela Moses, is also present here this morning, and you can expect from her an update on the current situation regarding workers at the T.A. Marichou Community College. Ladies and gentlemen, following the press briefing, we will also have a presentation from the Rehabilitation of Offenders Board. That board is chaired by Sir Lawrence Joseph, and they will be here to provide an update for us on the functions of the board and the work that they have been doing. So without any further ado, Minister Moses, we will start the ball rolling this morning with you. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good morning, all. Good morning to our listeners, our viewers, and our press here today, my colleague and our press secretary. Today, I want to share with you on the matter of increment for TAMCC workers. As you may be aware, TAMCC is a statutory body and as such is authorized to make its decisions and is really allowed to function with adequate independence. There actually is an Act of Parliament, Act 41 of 1996, that governs the functioning of the college. According to Section 7 of that Act, the college is to be managed by stakeholders, a body known as the College Council. The College Council basically has three main sources of income to run the day-to-day operation of the college and to develop itself. First, their main source of income is a subvention from our government, a subvention in the value of $14 million annually. The second source of income is the tuition fees that they charge their students. The third source of income that really cannot be used for matters like this, that's matters of increment, that third source is grants that they would get from donor agencies that they can use for infrastructure projects and things like that to develop the institution. Now, since TAMCC really is a statutory body, the government is not responsible for paying the increment as demanded by the union representatives. And as such, the present impasse is really between the council and the workers that are employed by the council. Now, who are the workers at the college? The college basically has two categories of workers, and they are represented by two different unions. The first category of worker that I would share with you about are the Public Service Commission workers, or PSC workers as they are called. The second category is the College Council workers. Now, the Public Service Commission, or the PSC workers, are workers who were transferred from schools, from ministries, to the college. And according to Section 26 and 27 of the TAMCC Act, they are workers on secondment, and as such would remain public officers with all their benefits that they enjoyed in the public service until the day that they retire. Their increments are the responsibility of government. And so, according to an October 2019 report, a very recent report from the college, the number of PSC workers at the college at present that government is responsible for, that number is only 35 workers. These workers are represented by the Grenada Union of Teachers and so have been benefiting from all the government negotiations, and of course there's more to come. Our minister here would share more with you. The second category of workers at TAMCC form the majority of the workers at the college. They are the council workers who are employed by the college council, and as such, their increments, their salary increase, and their pensions are paid for by college council, not government. The council is therefore responsible for paying the accumulated increment, which is $6.1 million for the years 2014 to 2018. And the total amount of workers under the council who were employed by the college council total 243 permanent workers. Council workers are represented by the Public Workers Union. Now, who manages the finance of the college? It's not government, of course. It's a finance committee which reports directly to the college council. The college council by law has what is known as standing committees, and one of which is a finance committee. And according to section 11, 2E, the finance committee manages the funds of the college and so makes recommendations for its investment thereafter. As such, the finance committee, through the council, if it can find savings, can use it to pay increments as it sees fit. And all the council has to do is just inform government of its decision. So in light of this, Cabinet has therefore requested that the college council submit a plan to Cabinet detailing how it will pay that $6.1 million of increment for the years 2014 to 2018 to the 243 permanent council workers. Thus far, the council has selected a sub-finance committee to meet on this matter, and then later this week, the council will meet with the union in an attempt to resolve the issue. And this is what we can report on the matter at TAMCC at present. I just want to move on to another area of skills development training, and we are very proud to announce that the training that is in conjunction with the Government of Grenada, NULO, and the United Kingdom Department for International Development, known as DFID, started 1 month ago at the NULO, the New Life organization in Palm East. That program is called SKY, Skills for Youth Employment. It is a certified TVET program for young people between the ages of 18 to 30, which aims to provide training needed so that they can find jobs in industry where there is really great demand for quality skilled workers, not just with experience, but who are certified. DFID will cover the total training cost of 3.3 million EC dollars over a 3-year period. So that is a total of 1.1 million yearly for the cost of training, materials, and things like that. So that is a 65% of the cost. While the government of Grenada, through the Ministry of Education, will cover transportation costs of 1.1 million over the 3-year period, or $375,000 yearly, to the 120 students. So we'll be training 120 youths, will be trained every year. So that means a total of 360 over a 3-year period. And they each will be awarded a CVQ certification at the end of that 3-year program. The areas that they are doing now, there are 6 areas that they have started, and they will all receive a level 2 CVQ. Furniture making, I think that would be a level 1. That's the only one that is level 1. The others are level 2. Furniture making, level 1. Cosmetology, early childhood, carpentry, air conditioning and refrigeration, TV and video production would all be level 2. There's one main condition that government and NULO had to accede to for this training, and it's that 10% of the trainees must be disabled youths. So we've had we have met that quota. And so the new live organization is not just training our able-bodied youths, they're training youths who have challenges, who are disabled in one form or another. So this is open and this is really, really welcomed. The first batch, like I said, started in October last month, and they're progressing very well. Now there's a part 2 to this, this training initiative at NULO, and it is for adults. Now the adults programs has not started as yet. It should start during this month, October, during the month of November. And this one is fully funded by the government of Grenada and will train a total of 70 adults who are over the age of 35. The programs offered for the adults would be agro-processing, fabric design, hospitality services, crop production, and poultry rearing. These 2 programs at the new live organization really are mainly evening programs. There may be 1 or 2 courses that may occur during the day. But really what has happened at NULO is a second shift has been created at the institution. Many times an institution closed at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and the building that is filled with equipment, the doors are just closed for the rest of the day. But at NULO now, we are having a second shift. So we are now being more efficient as a country in terms of utilizing our resources. Other areas that are being offered are computer and life skills, literacy, numeracy, and as well as the most important, job placement training. With NULO being one of our premier institutions, it has just recently doubled its capacity in technical skills training by the enrollment of the additional 120 youths and 70 adults during this semester in the months of October and continuing into November. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Moses, for those updates. Minister Joseph, the floor is yours.
Yeah, okay, so no. Good morning to all listeners and viewers and to the members of the press. Let me update you on the current negotiations between government, negotiating team, and public sector unions. The current cycle ends in December 2019. We entered we have a cycle from 2017, 2018, 2019, where the unions got 10%, 3, 3, and 4. And now we're in negotiations for a new cycle, which we need to conclude before the budget, because under the fiscal responsibility law, we must settle all salary increases before the next cycle starts. So the next cycle will start on 1st of January 2020. And therefore, we must stick within the law. And we negotiating now, and I think I need to start by making this point. We are negotiating under different conditions now. We have taken a decision. We have passed laws, Fiscal Responsibility Law, Public Finance Management Act, all of which binds the government into a framework. So we are negotiating within a framework agreement. This fiscal responsibility law also have what it can call fiscal space. How much money? There's a rule that says for your primary expenditure should not exceed 2% more than you spend in the previous year. And therefore, in considering how much the award should be for public sector workers union, that must be taken into consideration. So of the total fiscal space, how much will be allocated for increases? Because within that space, you have to find money to do all the other programs, all the other social programs. The seed program, the debushing program, the housing program, the same school repair must come from that total amount. And therefore, the approach to this negotiation, we said, must be fact-based, based on facts and on the evidence. And so we started negotiation. The Public Workers Union and the Technical and Allied Workers Union, who have less than 100 members in the public service, came jointly to the negotiation. And at the third round of negotiation, there was no movement by either party, and therefore the negotiation was declared deadlock. And we informed the Labour Commissioner that the matter is deadlocked between PW and TAU, and that we are seeking conciliation in the matter. The Labour Commissioner wrote to the unions to come to the table for conciliation talks. That did not happen because they indicated that they were not available. And on one occasion, the government side indicated that they were not available. And so the matter is still at deadlock and is still before the Labour Commissioner with respect to PW and TAU. I received a letter yesterday as the leader of the government negotiating team from the Labour Commissioner seeking to have a meeting on Thursday at 2 p.m. And before coming here, I confirmed that the GNT will be in attendance. And it is our hope that the two unions will be in attendance for conciliation talks. With respect to GUT, because they are negotiating separately, talks are proceeding smoothly. We are confident that we will soon reach a settlement given the significant movement by both sides. Negotiations cover the period 2020, 2021, 2022. And we have at the stage with the GUT where we think before the end of this week, we can conclude the negotiation and sign an agreement because of the cordial way in which the negotiation took place and the willingness of the union's negotiators to reach a settlement with government, understanding the fiscal rules that I explained in the beginning. So from our side, we are very confident. And as soon as we sign, we will, of course, address the media on the outcome of the settlement. With respect to cabinet decisions at the meeting on Monday, Cabinet took the decision to extend the exemption of the customs service charge, that is the 6%, on biodegradable products. As you may be aware, a law was passed to deal with biodegradable products that have different effective date to come into being. And as a ease for the replacement product, the government took a decision not to apply the customs service charge, which is 6%. However, Cabinet has decided to go even further to review all the duties and taxes on biodegradable products so that we can have a more comprehensive decision with respect to addressing the costs of the replacement in terms of the locally CET, the VAT, and all the duties and taxes that are applicable to see how we can give more relief. So this customs service charge is a temporary measure until we have taken a decision on the other duties and taxes. Cabinet also approved the Digital Government for Resilience project funded by the World Bank at a cost of $15 million US. Now, Grenada is only benefiting from this project because the World Bank is satisfied with the progress we are making to date to move into digital governance. This project will see many of the services government offer online so that consumers, the general public, can access much more government services online. So that's a major project that we have signed on to and will be implemented shortly. Cabinet also approved the amendment to the National Insurance Claims and Payments Regulations as follows. The prescribed time for claiming benefit in the case of sickness benefit, currently it is 4 days. The amendment will move it to 3 months. It means that you will have 3 months in which to make a claim now for sickness benefit as opposed to 4 days. And also for maternity benefit, where confinement has taken place, you will also have 3 months to make the claim as opposed to 3 weeks in the current regulation. The current regulation says you must make the claim within 3 weeks. We're now extending it to 3 months to allow for claims. Remember, I want you to get it clear, just to allow for you to claim. There is no amendment to the benefits, It's just the period of time for which you could make the claim. That is all that this is addressing. As I said, it was 4 days for sickness. It is not, you have up to 3 months to make the claim. For maternity, it was 3 weeks. We are amending the regulation to bring it to 3 months for which you can make the claim. But the benefits remain the same. Cabinet also approved the request from the Ministry of Finance to proceed with the technical assistance project to undertake a public expenditure review to contribute to the strengthening of the fiscal responsibility regime. Now, as you know, as I indicated, we have laws in place now to ensure fiscal discipline, and public expenditure is a key aspect of government function, what we call recurrent expenditure. And therefore, a consultant has been hired to provide technical assistance that will do a review to strengthen these public expenditure rules. And we are looking forward to that in 2020 so that we can review the whole government function in terms of public expenditure. Cabinet also approved the signing of a visa waiver agreement with the government of Ukraine and the Republic of Belarus for all categories of passports. The waiver will be for 90 days for citizens of both countries. So it will allow all holders of Grenada passport can visit these 2 countries, Ukraine and Republic of Belarus, for up to 90 days without having to get a visa. Also, their citizens can visit Grenada up to 90 days without a visa. We hope that this will promote tourism, because if you have to apply for a visa to enter a next member state, some people who want to travel will see that as a deterrent and will just visit other countries where they can visit without a visa. So we think that with the signing of this agreement between the government and these 2 countries, for our citizens and their citizens, because it's a reciprocal agreement, will enhance our trade and our tourism between these 2 nations. And we will continue to look at other countries where we can sign visa agreement to make it easier for Grenadians to travel without the requirement of a visa. So these are some of the matters that were discussed at Cabinet meeting yesterday that I wanted to bring the general public up to date with.
Thank you very much, Minister, for those updates on the negotiations and also on discussions that occurred during this week's post-Cabinet press briefing. Members of the media, you have heard the updates. The floor is now open to your questions. As per usual, please identify yourself and your media house before asking your question.
Rikisha St. Louis, GIS. Minister Joseph, I just want you to clarify further, because I'm a little bit confused as to the maternal claims, the maternity claims. So you're saying it will move from 3 weeks after giving birth to 3 months, you can make the claim?
This period for submitting your claim for the benefit, That's all. It's addressed. You had currently in the regulation, you must submit your claim for the benefit within 3 weeks. But a lot of people have complained that that is not sufficient time for them to submit their claim. And therefore, they do not receive the benefit if they submit the claim after 3 weeks. So the extension of 3 months is to allow for them to submit the claim. So you have a longer time period in which to submit your claim to NIS.
Pamela Moses, you mentioned the situation at TAMCC, and you said that government is not responsible for paying the increments because there are only 35 public service workers there. Will government act? I know you said that Cabinet suggested that they submit a plan going forward. Does that mean that government will act to offer any support of mediation to ensure that the process goes smoothly and nothing, you know?
Well, of course, government will continue to be involved. It's part of the responsibility here. So during this week, when the subcommittee meets, they will report to government as well. They would discuss with the unions. We are involved. Minister Joseph here, he assists us as well during that process, and so we are involved. I am involved. Minister Joseph is also involved.
Let me just ask my final question. The part 2 to the SKY program that you mentioned at NULO, the DFID program, you said the part 2, which is for adults, which has not started yet, will be fully funded by government. Can you give us more as to the duration, criteria for selection, all that?
Okay. That part is not, it's not DFID. DFID is the youth only. All right, so the adult program is government's initiative. Okay, and persons are selected throughout the parishes of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I just want to report that although Carriacou is late and they have been waiting, and that's really due to accommodations, you know, for the youth. Carriacou would start, the youth program for Carriacou would start on Monday. Now, regards to the adult program, the program really offers an opportunity to adults, giving them a second chance. And as such, persons in the community who have displayed interest in continuing their education, persons who are asking for training, these are persons that have been considered. So selections have already been completed. These persons are already registered. The new law, of course, had little challenges to unfold a second program. They already have a full daytime program, and what they have embarked with us to do is to have an evening shift. And so the institution had to go about it, slowly but surely. And so we dealt with the youth program first, so this one is up and running, and now we can focus on starting the adult program.
What's the cost associated with the adult program?
Right. The adult program, it's $590,000+, approximately $600,000. And that caters for the tuition. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but technical education is really over 10 times more expensive than your basic traditional academic training. And these persons will be provided with transportation. They'll also be given refreshments in both programs, the youth as well as the adult program. So whereas the youth program is $1.2 million yearly, the adult program would be $600,000 yearly for 70 persons for the adult program and 120 for the youth program. It runs until July. It's a duration of 9 to 13 months. That depends on the courses that are selected. There's 3 months life skills, computer training, improvement, so that there can be improvement in areas of literacy and numeracy. There's 3 months of that, and there's 9 months of technical and vocational training, and there'll be 1 to 2 months, average 1 month of job training, and that would come at the end of the program. Yes. So everyone will be provided with transportation costs. There's no stipend associated with this level of training, and the program ends exactly the day they get handed their CVQ. That's the end of the program, and then they're encouraged to move on into their communities where they can seek employment or, as in the case of the adults, mainly employ themselves. The areas selected for the adults would afford them the opportunity of self-employment. Those 4 areas that were selected: fabric design, agro-processing, farming, food production. These are areas where an adult can, seek employment. And so whatever support that we'll be able to offer to them, we will, so that they can continue out there and employ themselves. Some youths would be able to do similar based on the course that they would have selected. Yes. Did I cover everything? Yes. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Nisha Paul, the New Today newspaper. Minister Joseph, just for clarity, if an agreement is not reached in time between the negotiating team and the unions in time to be included in the budget, what is likely to happen? The salaries remain the same?
We are bound by laws, as indicated, and we must follow the laws because we cannot break the law. As I said, we are confident that we will reach an agreement. Then if we do not reach an agreement by then, we will have to decide what's the next step. But at this stage, we are very confident that before Friday of this week, we can reach an agreement.
That's between the GUT?
Yeah, between the Grenada Union, and we hope we can reach an agreement in all. We have a final meeting with GUT on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, and on Thursday we meet with the other 2 unions. So we hopeful that by Friday we should be able to sign off.
Can you give an idea as to what is likely to happen, though, if an agreement is not reached?
As I said, we will address that if an agreement is not reached by Friday.
Okay. During the last press conference I attended with yourself and the Cabinet Secretary, there was mention of a review of wages. I'm not sure if I'm recalling correctly, but a review of wages, and it was said that this was very costly. Can you speak to that?
Yes, we did announce that the government will undertake a comprehensive review, a job analysis of the entire public service, including the teaching service. A job analysis is an extremely expensive exercise. The last time one was conducted 8 years ago or so, 8 to 10 years ago. It really costs a lot of money because you have to make, based on the recommendation, changes to various scales, looking at all the anomalies. So it's a comprehensive exercise that the government, as they said, must be undertaken during the next cycle between 20 and 22. This job evaluation and job analysis will take place.
Can you give us an idea of the cost?
Of what? Well, it hasn't been done yet.
Of the previous one that was done, because you said
No, that was
very
about 10 years
costly.
ago. I don't remember what the cost was, but it's costly to implement.
Okay, thank you.
Gerard Joseph, GBN News. I question first for Ms. Milson Moses. The union is contending that because although the council is in charge of paying the increments, the government has the council itself in a blind because the government is the one to regulate tuitions which would generate finances for the council in terms of TAMCC. With the proposal coming from the council, would that be addressed or would that be looked at?
Well, we await the proposals, and we will discuss whatever they propose. We will consider their proposal. So until then, there isn't much that I can really say. So we await their proposal, and we would have a discussion on that. Yeah.
Final question for Minister Joseph. One for your constituency. With the Chinese housing scheme, I think in Corinth St. David, with that disruption in the activities there, are you okay with what's going on there, and if that affected the project?
What activity? I'm not clear. What activity?
Last week, some of the Chinese, or at least two, were seen in an industrial action.
So I'm glad you asked us so I could clarify it. The two took part has nothing to do with the building of the houses. The building of the house is done by a private contractor from China. The two people, they were assigned to the Lassages farm there, so they have absolutely nothing to do with it, and it's a separate matter where they were protesting against and the government is not responsible for the conditions of work and for paying them. They work with the Chinese government on the farm project. These were the two people. It has absolutely nothing to do with the building of the houses. As I say, that's a separate contract. And that is going on smoothly, and is going on time and on schedule.
Is that all for questions this morning? Okay. Ministers Joseph and Moses, any closing comments from either of you, or do you think we've exhausted our comments here this morning?
Now, in closing, I just want to say to the general public that as we enter the end of the year, we come into the Christmas season, we ask for due care and attention, ask for your cooperation, so that we can have a nice, peaceful season. If there is an agreement between the unions, we will call you back to have a press conference so that we can give you the full update. As I said, we are very confident. I want to thank the unions for their cooperation in this matter. And as a government, we are concerned about the government employees because they are the employees of the state. And we want to ensure that the state employees are well taken care of, and therefore we are in this together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Joseph, and also Minister Moses, for your presence here this morning and the updates provided to the general public and, of course, to members of the media on various happenings within government and discussions at the cabinet level. That brings us to the end of this week's post-cabinet press briefing. I am Press Secretary Philomena Robertson. Remember, in a short while, we'll have a presentation from the Rehabilitation of Offenders Board. They will be telling us about what they have been doing and the progress they have been making in the execution of their functions. I'm Philomena Robertson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Is the resilience of the people. But in the battle against climate change, will hope and resilience be enough when the lives of those who contribute the least feel the brunt of its effects?
For us here in the Caribbean, climate change and its devastating impacts are our new normal.
Hope is still the strongest currency in these parts. But a devaluation of life can come if the world sells the people short. With the realities of modern times, forever no longer has the same currency it had a generation ago.
Rolling on the way through my journey, Got a triple OG sitting right beside me. This old man, he played fall. He played knick-knack on my door. Raises a white noise, light up the world. Here we go, and I follow the sun, 'cause it's bright on the other side of my window.
In Grenada, like in many places in the Caribbean, there are continuing concerns about rising temperatures and the increasing frequency of storms.
In growing up as a young girl on the Carriacou, the changes, I always tell them the major change started with Hurricane Janet, September. September is a very terrible month for Grenada with hurricanes. Price of progress is always very high. And to me, the whole environmental problem in the Caribbean and in particular in Grenada come with the price of progress.
The country was devastated, almost complete devastation in some villages. First of all, every village in Dominica, every street, every cranny, every person in Dominica was impacted by the hurricane.
I know myself from since this is why growing up. Come here. Just come and enjoy yourself at the beach. And bathe and eat and drink and enjoy yourself and have fun. The river never is so much with the sea, but I know the water get rough. The climate got like changing.
People here have created their own way of life, overcoming great challenges over the centuries. They are at one with nature, and nature is at one with them.
There are farmers who have irrigation systems. There are farmers who are close to rivers, but there are also farmers who depend solely on rainwater, our rainwater harvesting to grow their plants. And I can tell you over the last year or so, and a lot of farmers have not been able to reach their targets in terms of production.
They followed the sun and the moon and the stars to maintain their livelihoods. Their culture has evolved dependent on the environment, their lives intertwined with its well-being.
We have no choice as a region but to pursue climate-smart development.
Building the region's resilience to climate change, natural hazards, and environmental changes is not only a necessary and urgent development imperative, but is also a fundamental requirement to ensure our basic survival as a people.
The problem with climate change is getting warmer faster in the temperate regions, and so earlier in the year, like February, March, when the birds are still here, they don't know they have to go home yet, but all the things that should be happening when they arrive are happening earlier. So their nesting sites are becoming available, their food sources, especially insects, are blooming. So by the time the birds get back to where they have to go, there's no food for them.
Follow the sun, I follow the sun.
Water fuels life here. Above as below, without adaptation, much is at stake. Maybe the lives here can be the hope and the light the world needs to make a change before it's too late.
These impacts are reversing economic growth, exacerbating poverty, and undermining the future prosperity of Caribbean countries.
This war was not started on their terms, but one through which they are determined to fight together.
But we can't do this alone. This is why we're calling for greater focus, support, and action from the international community to get us ahead of this climate crisis.
Grenada's National Sustainable Development Plan 2035 seeks to address climate adaptation and vulnerability for sustainable development.
Being on the front line in the war against climate change, Caribbean countries are pushed into action and are finding ways to overcome the challenges.
We're facing a hurricane, Hurricane Dorian, one that we've never seen in the history of Bahamas. I just want to say that as a physician, I've been trained to withstand many things, but never anything like this.
We preserve, we protect, and we promote. Adaptation done right safeguards our economies and builds a better future for us all. The choice is clear. Delay and pay, or plan and prosper.
Hope and resilience may be enough after all. Governments, communities, and businesses are working together in this changing reality to adapt and build a stronger Caribbean as the world's first climate-smart zone.
Investing in adaptation measures is not a cost, it is an opportunity. It is an opportunity to realign our lifestyles and our economies to respect that delicate balance that maintains life on Earth.
Accelerating adaptation would enable us to get ahead of the climate crisis and stay there.
In Grenada, they're embarking on a bold plan to build the first climate-smart city in the Caribbean. If carbon emissions are not capped, if the sea levels and temperatures continue to rise, if we do not act now, all hope will be lost.
The time for action is now. The choice is clear.
The choice is clear. Adapt our world.
With fresh investments in people and infrastructure, with development tied to the sustenance of the environment, with strengthening policies and greater awareness, we can accelerate adaptation and save our world. So join us as we adapt our world.
The choice is clear. Adapt our world.
Adapt our world!
Samo, let me get a call one day.
Boy, Johnny, where you get all them US dollars from?
It's have a cruise ship in town today. We getting real US from them tourists who come on the bus to go to Grenada's beach.
Nice, man. Plus, I hear all the restaurants full with tourists. They even had to call back Mr. Brown from St. Patrick to make an extra delivery of cucumbers and plantains, you know.
Man, I tell you, business booming. My cousin and all get a job working in a hotel as a chef.
Coming to think of it, there are real people working in hotels, you know.
From agriculture to transportation to jobs, tourism benefits everyone. Tourism is everybody's business.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
The strength of the iron, it's in the testing. It's not a loss, it's just a lesson. Be grateful for your blessings. You've been digging deep to find that inner strength. No, it's not the time to give up. No, nah. I'm telling you, nothing they do will never defeat me. We control your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me. So irate, wake up and I ready. Must make it ever steady. Setting goals is necessary while they idling. Precious time they wasting like a disease. It starts spreading. Now it shift their eyesight. I say I don't know why. Some will worry about the next man's stride. Try to match up a next man's life. Fix your life. And as soon as I start walking hard, you want to vex something must be wrong. You're mad. I don't come here for that. All you help me. But I'm telling you, nothing they do will never defeat me. We control your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me, please. I'm telling you, rule number one, we don't come to beg nothing from them. I'm telling you, the people, music, look, everybody chanting. I'm telling you, counting people, business while we counting the blessings. I'm telling you, counteraction time, so help me broadcast the message. No bad vibes on my side. We fueled by motivation. Keep sending out good signals. Pay attention to your audience. Let your light shine. What's for you will be for you. With the real ones rooting for you. Just let your energy introduce. You can say I don't know why. So we'll worry about that next man's stride. Try to match up a next man's life. Fix your life. And as soon as I start working hard, you want to make something must be wrong, you man. I don't come here for that. All you help me. But I don't see how I'm telling you.
Good morning to all of our listening audience. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada. It is a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning here in the Spice Isle, Grenada. A special good morning to those of you joining us on 97.5 CitysoundFM, 89.5 CRFM, 92.9 Sister Isle Radio, broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, and of course 94.9 We Noise Radio out of Brooklyn, New York. And of course, for those of you joining us on the live, good morning to you. Remember to share and like the live video. Be a part of sharing the information. A special good morning to Miss Clytie up there in Manjulu, and of course Miss Bernice in Richmond Hill. We know you guys are locked on and listening to us. Of course, our lines are open from the very beginning. Today is a very short program because we're coming straight out of post cabinet this morning, a very informative post cabinet, if I might add. So our numbers are 440-7377 for our local calls, 440-7377 for our WhatsApp, and of course, those of you in the diaspora, if you want to call and share with us, the number is 347-329-3101. It's been a very productive morning. I hope that all of you had an opportunity to log in or early to our live video, and of course to log in on your televisions as well to listen to GIS post-cabinet briefing. And our ministers this morning delivering that briefing would have been the Honorable Minister Oliver Joseph and of course the Honorable Minister Pamela Modeste. Pamela Moses. What's wrong with me this morning? Pamela Moses. All right. And they had so much information to give us this morning. And of course, I'm so happy that I was able to log in and listen because it gave me some clarity so that I am able to provide you with some more information on the issue of the industrial action at TAMCC. And of course, she would have given us a brief on what's happening in that area. So I'm definitely going to share with you the information as it relates to, or the facts, I must say, as it relates to that industrial action at TAMCC. And also encourage, while I give the facts, that why it's so important for us to remain mindful of what we say, how we say it, on what forums we say it on, and these things, because of the damage that it can do. And remember, anything put in social media, it's there to stay. It's irreversible unless you yourself go back and say, well, you know, I said something wrong and I apologize and these are the facts. But we very rarely find people doing that. So if that is not a custom, then we must make it a custom to say the right things, find the facts, find the details, and then proceed to make a statement. And don't put the cart before the horse, right? So as it relates to TAMCC, let me see how I can break this down so that everybody can understand, right? So TAMCC, of course, has a current industrial action with a portion of its workers against the TAMCC Council. It's not against the government of Grenada, it's against the TAMCC Council. So the TAMCC is it's broken up basically into two sets of workers, right? We have workers that come from the Public Service Commission, and then we have the workers that come from the College Council, right? And these are the workers, the majority of the workers in TAMCC would be those workers, those College Council workers. And they make up, I think, about 243 of the permanent staff there, right? And they would have wanted to or should have received some increments in the amount of $6.1 million for the period 2014 to 2018. So that is what the industrial action surrounds. It surrounds that amount of monies that they are saying is owed to them in increments. But we must first understand where TAMCC receives its income. So TAMCC has three main sources of income. Remember, they are a statutory body that is run and managed by stakeholders that call themselves the council, the TAMCC Council, right? Now, they receive their three main sources of income would be a subvention from the government. So TAMCC receive an annual subvention from the government of $14 million, right? So they would receive that subvention along with the tuition paid by their students, right? So that would be the two sources of income would be the subvention and the tuition. And then there's a third source of income that is grants. Now, these grants can be used to pay things like salaries and increments and these sorts of things. These grants are meant for development of the TAMCC. So it's basically a donor grant, right? So they receive a subvention from the government and their tuition, and it's managed by a finance committee. So basically, the government has no part to play in the finances or management of the finances as it relates to TAMCC. So I'm hoping that the relevant bodies who's supposed to be listening to this are listening so that they understand what is happening as it relates to TAMCC. So let me reiterate. The industrial action that is happening between TAMCC and the Public Workers Union and the Grenadian Union of Teachers have absolutely nothing to do with the government of Grenada. So let's go back a bit. there are only 35 public service workers within TAMCC. So only 35 of the workers within TAMCC are public servants. 243 permanent workers within TAMCC, they are from the council. All right? So anybody out there that is saying that the government of Grenada owe TAMCC money again and all that nonsense, that is not true. That is actually very far from the truth. So I hope that clears it up for a lot of you that have been commenting on social media saying that the government again and the government owe TAMCC and the government talking about the economy booming and they can provide increments to TAMCC workers and all sorts of nonsense I've read so far as it relates to that issue. So just to note, it is not an industrial action between the government of Grenada and TAMCC. It is the council that is responsible for these 243 workers that is expected to provide them with increments, and that is what the industrial action entails. So people, please be informed, remain informed. Information is power. And then we had the minister speaking about some development as it relates to adults in education. Now, I am all for education. Sometimes it's very hard, it's very difficult at a certain age to really put yourself in the mindset of going back to school and getting some higher form of education. But I am all for it because education is the wealth of a nation. It is what's going to build your country and build your people. So the government has taken an initiative that will cost them approximately $590,000, approximately $600,000 yearly, right? And that is for tuition and transport and refreshments and so on for 70 adults. 70 adults, that's persons above the age of 35, who are interested in higher education, who are interested in vocational studies, in improving their skills. So they have taken up this initiative in collaboration, of course, with NULO, and they have provided these 70 individuals with an opportunity to study in a number of areas, agro-processing, poultry. I believe that there is sewing of some kind and so on. So many different opportunities, and I believe that is a wonderful, wonderful initiative by our government of Grenada again, who is showing that they are interested, they are invested in the education of our people. So that is a wonderful, wonderful initiative by them, right? So they will receive, I believe, 3 months of life skill training and computer training, things that will help them improve their numeracy and literacy skills. And then they will have 1 to 2 months down at the end of it in job training. So I think the total amount of time that they would be spending would be 9 to 13 months, somewhere around there. And these people have already registered and so on to participate in this program. So after the 13 months have completed, I'm sure that they will continue the process. They will ensure that more persons are trained. So we want to encourage the people out there. We want to encourage you to find out from your representatives, find out from your constituency offices, of course, because this is a government initiative. Find out from your constituency offices what your options are in terms of getting higher education, right? Because, of course, education is always and will always be power. Now, we're going to take a really quick short break. Of course, feel free to give us a call when we come back. The lines are open to share your views with us on what you believe that the government is doing that they need to be commended for, because there's so many things that the government is doing. And I can sit here and talk about all of these things by myself, but it's nice when you have 1 or 2 people calling in. It shows that the Grenadian public knows what's going on in their country. So we're going to take a short break and then we'll be back with some more information for you.
Samo, let me get a call one day.
Boy, Johnny, where you get all them US dollars from?
It's have a cruise ship in town today. We getting real US from them tourists who come on the bus to go to Granada's beach.
Nice, man. Plus, I hear all the restaurants full with tourists. They even had to call back Mr. Brown from St. Patrick to make an extra delivery of cucumbers and plantains, you know.
Man, I tell you, business booming. My cousin and all get a job working in a hotel as a chef.
Coming to think of it, there are real people working in hotels, you know.
From agriculture to transportation to jobs, tourism benefits everyone. Tourism is everybody's business.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
All right, and we are back. This morning, interestingly enough, Naz, I was listening to a radio program, and a certain gentleman was on there, and he made a statement, and I think it was a good statement. It's good to hear that they're thinking in that direction. That I don't want to call them the opposition. Somebody said yesterday that they are not the opposition. They're actually just another political party, because we have a few of them in Grenada. So let's be fair to all political parties in Grenada. Then the other political party would have said that they are all for commending the government when they've done something right, or when they've implemented policies and procedures that are meant to help the Grenadian people. I'm happy to hear them say that, but I'm waiting on those commendations. I'm waiting to hear them, because we have a tendency of being public when it's time to bash, but never being direct when it's time to commend. So I want to hear those commendations. We have a first caller on the line. Oh, it seems like we've lost that caller. That's okay. Feel free to give us a call. The number is 440-7377 for all of our local calls, and 347-329-3101 for those of you in the diaspora. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my sweetie pie.
Hi, Miss Jacob. How are you?
I'm fine.
That's wonderful to hear.
Oh, God, I'm so wonderful today.
I know, and we all know why that is.
You know what I'm wonderful for?
Yes, I know.
Mommy Mitchell.
Of course.
Mommy Mitchell, she brings such a handsome son, girl.
Yes, she
I
has.
don't know how handsome to put it again. That beautiful, handsome Prime Minister, the Honorable Claudius Kit Mitchell. Today is his B-Day, girl.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Lord. Girl, I'm so happy, eh? Oh, Lord.
But, Miss Jacob, why are you so happy? It's not your birthday, no? It's not your birthday. Why are you so happy?
I'm happy.
I think you're getting a share in that cake.
And he's glad he's gonna leave me. Last week I called him to see how he's laughing. He's gonna leave me. He got in 73.
Yeah.
He got in 37. And I did me 27. But next year I go reach it 37. Is that right? I'm going to meet it next year.
All right. Well,
yes, man.
You
So
call.
I wish him all the best. All of us wish him all the best today. He and his wonderful mom must be having a gorgeous time there. Because I called her this morning, eh? I used to know how me and that lady chat. I was them chatting, I know. And I know them good. Yes.
That's
that
wonderful.
is it, girl.
Well, thank you so much for calling and sharing that
Yes,
with
and
us.
where's my
I'm
brother?
sure.
Parabola?
Oh, he's around somewhere. I'm quite sure he's gonna pop in at any moment. I'm sure he's gonna pop in at any moment. He likes to give the element of surprise.
When he has the hairy voice, he'll come now. So just now go here knocking at the door, and when you open, it's Brother Bula.
All right.
So y'all, darling, keep up your good work. God bless you. And what's about Sheldon?
Sheldon
Sheldon, hello, good morning, darling. Sheldon and Devon.
He's listening. They're actually both here, and they're listening to you from the other side.
Yes, I want them to listen to me. Okay, darling?
Yes.
Love you, baby. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Right.
Yes, Grenada. And as Ms. Jacob said, today is a big day. It's a historical day. It's a wonderful day, because it is the day that our Prime Minister, our political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell was born. Today is his birthday. So, of course, on behalf of the New National Party, we want to extend our best wishes to him as he continues to be an exemplary leader, a man of many talents, an extraordinary politician, all right, a man of a lot of wisdom, and he's a very good role model to a lot of people, you know, and that is why it's so important when I hear people talking all sorts of things about him, because just because they don't like him, it makes me sad inside, because he has dedicated the majority of his life to the development of this beautiful island and the people that live in it. So happy birthday to you, Dr. Mitchell, wherever you are listening to this. Happy birthday to you. All right. So remember, guys, the lines are open. You can, if you just feel to call and extend birthday wishes to our Prime Minister as well, you can do that. He's out there listening to you. So feel free to give him a shout out on the airwaves. Today is his big day. I know he's smiling somewhere. Either that or he's doing a lot of work, you know, because the work never ends as Prime Minister and political leader. There's always something that needs to be done daily, hourly, by the minute to ensure that the country continues to thrive. In our post-cabinet briefing today, we had also Honorable Minister Oliver Joseph. But before I get into that, we have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to you, my sweetheart.
Good morning.
I too want to extend happy birthday to our dearly beloved Prime Minister. I wish him all the best, and I hope God will continuously give him good health.
Yes.
So he will be able to serve the nation.
Yes.
Because we all love him. And we want him to be there for a very, very, very long time until God says so.
Yes, we do.
So he's doing a wonderful work. So tell him continuously doing the good work for the nation. And have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day. Wish you was there. This is coming up from Carriacou. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right, you too. Thank you so much. I'm sure he'll have an opportunity to hear that at some point. So Carriacou is wishing happy birthday to our Prime Minister and political leader. And of course, like I said, the man has been working. He has been working with his team to ensure that Grenada is on the map and remains on the map. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to send out birthday greetings to my loving Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, wishing him all the best and health and strength and God blessing. And may he live to see many, many more birthdays. And tell him to keep up his good work. Don't study nobody. Keep up his good work.
Okay. We'll definitely make sure that he gets that message. All right. Thank you so much, caller. Yes, the man has been working. He has been doing his best to ensure that Grenada is on the map, that Grenada stays on the map. He is one of the greatest economists that the region has seen, right? So we want to ensure that we send a lot of love and positivity his way today, right? So Minister Joseph, in his deliberation this morning, would have given us an update as it relates to the industrial action. Well, not really industrial action, the negotiations, I should say, between the unions and the government negotiating team. And he will be here tomorrow, of course, to give us a further update. But in his deliberation this morning, he gave us a rundown of what was happening as it relates to the Public Workers Union and the Technical and Allied Workers Union. Of course, we know that after the third round of negotiations, when there was no movement, that the government negotiating team declared a deadlock. And if we are familiar, of course, au fait with any of the labor laws, labor conditions, industrial relations, negotiations, any of those things, then we would know that deadlock can be declared by either side. It doesn't have to be that both sides must agree on a deadlock. It can be from either side, right? So the government negotiating team saw that there was no movement after third talks, and they would have declared a deadlock and referred the matter to the Labour Commissioner. However, the Grenada Union of Teachers, of course, would have done separate negotiations, and they would have, of course, he would have referred to the talks as cordial and running smoothly. There was movement on both sides. That's what he said. So they should see a settlement by this week. I mean, that's what we like to hear. When I first heard about the negotiations and no movement and all of that drama, I wondered if that was even a negotiation. Because, you know, when there's a negotiation, both sides need to move. Both sides need to come to an agreement as to what is best for the workers, but not only just the workers. Government also has to take into consideration the general population, the other people in Grenada as well. It's not just the public service. So when negotiations happen with government negotiation team, they are negotiating not only for public workers, but they are negotiating for the general public as well. The bushers, they're negotiating with school children on their minds. They're negotiating with the less fortunate in the communities on their minds. They're negotiating with those people who cannot fend for themselves on their mind. They have all these people to negotiate for. When the Public Workers Union and TAU, when they negotiate only with their employers or their employees on their mind. That's all they negotiate. We have somebody here wishing our Prime Minister happy birthday all the way from Jamaica. We'll definitely make sure that we pass on that message. Dr. Williams, Miss Francis, all of you wishing the Prime Minister a happy birthday on his behalf. We say thank you. But we want to get back to the negotiation talks. So we want to ensure that when these talks are complete, that it doesn't affect another portion of the country. And that's what we have to be mindful of when we are thinking of these matters. I know when it comes to money, people get emotional and, we say a lot of things and do a lot of things that ordinarily we won't do and we won't say because it's money on our mind. But we have to be mindful that when we say and when we do things, it doesn't just affect a group of 15 people, it affects an entire nation. It affects the outcome or the outlook or the perception that people have of the Grenadian public. We don't want to be seen as a people that call for a fight or call for a strike or call for industrial action as soon as there is a disagreement. Disagreement is healthy. It opens the door for healthy conversation. So we must encourage it. If I agree with everything that you say all of the time, I mean, where's the fun in that, right? But we must also ensure that when we disagree, we are disagreeing because we see that we can offer something better or that something better can be done. It's the same as opposing with the intent to propose, not just opposing because you can oppose. So we have to keep these things in mind. When government goes to the table, they go to the table for the Grenadian people. They don't go to the table for public workers only. They go to the table for the Grenadian people to ensure that everybody gets a piece of the pie. Because when the country prospers, it is not just as a result of the work being done in the public service. It's as a result of the general sacrifice of every single Grenadian. Every person that goes to the supermarket and pays their VAT, every person that pays whatever taxes it is that you would pay to contribute to the growth and development of Grenada. Everyone contributes in this small way. So everyone must benefit when the time comes to share the profits, right? Please remember to give us a call. The lines are open. It's 440-7377 and, of course, 347-329-3101 for those of you in the diaspora. And we'll be happy to hear from you, hear what's going on, even if it's just to give our Prime Minister a quick hello, a quick happy birthday. Please feel free to give us a call. Also, I must, it'll be remiss of me not to say, the government of Grenada is doing, having or planning a parish meeting, I believe, in the St. Patrick area. The St. Patrick Anglican School, if I have the information correct. So there will be, I believe, ministers of government and representatives from the Ministry of Finance that will be giving us information on what's happening generally in our country, not just within the St. Patrick area. So you want to go out to the school. I believe they begin at 6:30 to hear what is happening in your country. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hey, what's up, you fucking poor...
Oh, wow. All right, we apologize for that. Must have been a wrong number, Naz. We don't have people like that in Grenada at all. We don't have people like that in Grenada. So we want to say, again, happy birthday coming out from Miss Jane, of course, to our Prime Minister. We'll make sure that he gets that message. We'll make sure that he gets that message. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. Naz, let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back with you with some more information for you.
If you think safety rules are a pain, try having an accident. Drive safely. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
Morning. You can sit down anywhere you want. Good morning and welcome. Feel free to have a seat at any of the available tables. I'll bring a menu to you shortly.
If you had to choose between great customer service and not so good customer service, which one will you choose? Remember, tourism is everybody's business.
Samo, let me get a call one day.
Boy, Johnny, where you get all them US dollars from?
It's have a cruise ship in town today. We getting real US from them tourists who come on the bus to go to Grenada's beach.
Nice, man. Plus, I hear all the restaurants full with tourists. They even had to call back Mr. Brown from St. Patrick to make an extra delivery of cucumbers and plantains, you know.
Man, I tell you, business booming. My cousin and all get a job working in a hotel as a chef.
Coming to think of it, it are real people working in hotels, you know.
From agriculture to transportation to jobs, tourism benefits everyone. Tourism is everybody's business.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
All right, guys, and we are back. We're just dealing with a little technical issue there. So we want to talk about all of the great things that we have to look forward to. But before I do that, let me just encourage our people that our budget presentation is coming up on Wednesday of next week. I believe that's the 17th. So we want to encourage all of you. The 20th, not the 17th, the 20th. So we want to encourage all of you out there to listen, tune in, hear what's happening in Grenada as it relates to your budget, right? Hopefully by the end of this week, if not the end of this week, beginning of next week, we're going to have an economist here who is going to discuss with us what a budget is all about. I know a lot of us, we tune in to hear if the budget could be $1 million, $1 billion, $3 billion, $5 billion, but we don't really understand what the budget entails. Why do we even need a budget? You know, so we need to see if we can get somebody in here to explain to us what the budget is all about, why we need a budget, and why it is your business to be invested and to listen to what is happening in our budget. So we are hopefully going to have somebody in here by the end of this week to speak to us on what we have to look forward to. But for the budget, that is. And I know there's so many things coming up in that budget, so many developments that's going to happen within Grenada that we want to pay attention to, and the amount that is going to cost, because that also affects us here as members of state. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Duncan.
Good morning.
And a special morning to your listening audience. And you just mentioned two gentlemen who you say was in the back room or another room. I want to say a special good morning to them.
Yes.
But Miss Duncan, let me first take this opportunity to wish the boss himself all the best on his special day.
Yes.
And I want to also take this opportunity to thank him for all what he would have done for us.
Yes.
And to his mother, I want to say, ma'am, we love you from the bottom of your heart, of our heart, and we thank you for providing us and giving us such a great son of the soil. But Miss Duncan, let me throw some misconception under the bus. And that will be my only contribution here for the day. Now, there are some people, Miss Duncan, they think that data collection and data verification is by accident. And what they don't know is that the best way to verify and analyze this info is to be on the ground. So listen to this. So when you see me with the rum drinkers or the ganja smokers, it's not for socializing sake.
Yeah.
People speak their mind. They tell you as it is in this environment.
Yeah.
And I want to say to some people that election, campaigning, and winning is not by guess or by accident.
Yeah.
It's by information and strategizing the information gathered. No, I work in Moncton. Moncton is the largest and most populated village. Moncton could make you or break you. So if there is a village where you need to know what's happening, it's in Moncton. So let me say here, success is not by wishing and hoping, but by doing the work.
Yeah.
So when the end product comes and you're jumping up and you're waving up and you're drinking up and you're celebrating, just remember someone did the work that was required.
Yeah.
Adult education. This initiative means a lot to me. Once again, Moncton, because Moncton in particular is where this program would really work because of that environment and the willingness of individuals to participate and become a more productive citizen. Once again, whenever you see me passing through, it is not about socializing. There is always a bigger picture in mind. Ms. Duncan, I thank you for the time.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And he's absolutely right. These things don't just happen by chance. A government doesn't just, or a party, sorry, doesn't just win a seat by chance. And I heard comments being made this morning about this administration or this political party would have won the election simply because they would have given away windows and board and we'll come back to it, but we have a call on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hi, I have a question about Grenada's government structure.
Go ahead.
All right, so basically, I was in Grenada about 4 weeks ago, and I noticed while I was on the streets of Grenada, I saw a bunch of niggers watching child porn.
All right. Whoever that caller is, let us just state or categorically state that we do not accept or condone this type of behavior here on this program or any other program within the state of Grenada. So we ask you to refrain. And we do have your number or numbers, and we will ensure that it is reported to the relevant authority. But let's get back to the business at hand. And mind you, these things don't happen by chance. This caller didn't just come across our program and just happen to call. This seems like something that is or has been very well orchestrated. So for the persons or person responsible, shame on you. Shame on you. But let's get back to matters at hand. There are so many things that we want, that we have to look forward to, and I heard the political. Oh, we have another call on the line. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, hello, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay, all right. Well, you heard the conversation this morning as well, and I heard it as well, like the election was rigged or whatever in format.
Yeah.
Whatever term English was used, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me say the last, which was not. But what about the one before? What about the one before? When you were then given the 11-seat mandate, which you completely failed. Yeah, you completely failed. And even in Grenada, choice, but in Trinidad, as we look at currently, where would the next election will head? We came right back to Dr. Mitchell. And what Dr. Mitchell did after he won the 15-0 seat, when he took his oath from the Trade Center, where did he went? I would like to ask the people, where did he went? Did he took his oath and go back home?
No,
he went straight back and had a meeting with the finance committee or whatever the committee was called.
Yeah.
And right away it starts fixing the economy from the moment go. Yeah? I could be wrong, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. Hello?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm listening.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right from right moment go, he start working to show his concern for the people of this nation. Yeah? So if you decide to make some kind of outrageous comments about rigging an election and making other stupid comments, it does not exist. I don't know how on the earth these people will just come on the air and make this kind of comments.
You're absolutely right.
Some awful words were thrown out for the president of Mr. Chester Humphrey.
Yeah.
Which Chester Humphrey was arrested by his own people?
Yes, he was.
Right. And that happened in front of my eyes. I actually witnessed it.
Yeah.
Mr. David, another minister, was kicked out.
Yeah.
And today they're saying he's like the operating in NPS like nothing. They wasn't even given a chance or a space to breathe in the ministry.
Yeah.
So how I mean, as I said, I still have a problem in understanding how these people comment on air and making such comments like this, and who are they trying to fool?
Yeah.
It is disgusting. I mean, where is your concern to educate people? If, like, you go into a doctor and you tell the doctor sick and the doctor telling you sick, but the doctor cannot find a way to tell you, well, this is the sickness and this is the prescription. Yeah. Tell us the problem and provide us with a solution.
Yes.
You don't have nothing. You don't have a problem. You don't have a solution to a problem if you're speaking about. So what you're talking about? It's absolute hatred. That is the only thing I can come up with, Ms. Duncan, this morning.
Yeah.
It is not good. Why you preaching hatred? That is what I would like to know. What is you that actually you hate most about? Are you there to develop the country, or are you there to just preach hatred?
Mm-hmm.
Hatred. You don't develop a nation by preaching hatred.
Absolutely. What you're doing, caller, what they're doing actually is they're fostering a society that is built on hate and animosity. So whenever they go into government, that's a society that they are going to have to face.
I don't see that happening in the near distant future, no. Because I could tell you this time. I mean, oh my God, you say 1503 time gone already. The fourth and the fifth one coming. I could successfully say that.
Yeah.
Because you see, as I'm saying, that we have to use every strategy. I mean, I'm not a full-blown secondary school. I'm just a primary school kid, to be honest with you. I have been in your seat where you have been with Sheldon on few occasions as well.
Yeah.
But God gives everybody common sense to understand.
Yes.
Try use the time to educate our people now. What is so wrong about it? If you so do care, educate the people.
Yeah.
If you don't, that means by talking like that on a daily basis, which giving you back to back to back, 15, that means what you're saying doesn't make any sense. What you're talking about?
Yep.
And the individual who is preaching that on a daily basis on, I don't know, whatever station it is, and when the opposing party, they always sideline him. That is not part of, that he have no assign to the party.
But yet,
so who you representing?
Exactly.
I mean, it is sickening.
Yeah.
I don't know why certain people are funding that person, or even, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I prefer take the money, they bring it into some poor house or give somebody else to work on the house or something like that. It is not making any sense.
You're correct.
We have to go forward, Grenada. Look, I don't know, but Grenada, today, Barbados is taking some advice or some page out of Grenada to recover the economy.
Yes.
At one time, Grenada was looked down by that same nation. When I was a kid, I could remember that.
Yeah.
Today, we are looked by that country, and not page, I will say pages.
Yeah.
So why you hate Dr. Mitchell so much?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And not only that country, but around the world, we are our economic growth is a model for a lot of countries around the world. That's something that we should be proud of.
Of course, to be honest with you, you may not like a Dr. Mitchell as a person, but my God, look at the way how he's single-handedly handling the economy.
Absolutely.
You have to give the gentleman credit.
Of course.
When I that child was here in the early stage, looking back to Mr. Compton and other then Prime Minister of Barbados, Mr. Adams, and and the Jamaican Prime Minister, the Trinidad Prime Ministers, they were so, concerned of the people. I think Dr. Mitchell is one of maybe the last peers that has left. We should be proud of this man.
Yeah.
We should be always proud of this man. Give him the credit where it is due.
Absolutely.
People need to get up and do and see and do what is right for this country. That's all. And we are going forward. We are going forward with assurance.
Yes, we are.
We may be a day or two late, but we are ahead. We are going forward. Yeah. Anyhow, you have a blessed day and enjoy your lunch today.
You too. Thank you so much, caller.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. And the caller is absolutely right. We are a model as a people as it relates to economic growth. We have a caller that's been waiting online. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Duncan.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Pretty good, and you?
I'm great this morning.
Yes, good morning to Mr. Nazim B.
He says
good morning to Brother Devon and Brother Sheldon. I am here on the behalf of my family, my brothers and sisters, in Grenada and all over the world, my nieces and nephews, my children and my grandchildren, to wish our Prime Minister happy birthday. My late mother always called him her son, and he respected that woman. He knows who's talking. He knows who is talking. And so there's a verse in Isaiah that says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Yeah.
So let all the others throw their bullets. Let all of them throw their spears. Let them swing the cutlasses. Let them swing everything against this man. I know this man. My mother knew him. So, my brother, enjoy the day. No weapon that form against you shall prosper.
Of course.
God bless everybody.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure he's happy to hear this. Don't worry, we're compiling all the birthday greetings and we'll send him, if he didn't have an opportunity to hear them all, we'll be sure to send him all of that information. I heard recently the PRO for the NDC say that good always prospers over evil. And you know, that's the first right thing she said since she's PRO. Because you know why NNP always prospers? You know why we had 215 seats in a row? Because of this great man, this legendary leader who spent the majority of his life with the sole intent of building Grenada, of seeing the country that he calls home prosper. And that is what makes this man great. So yes, good definitely does prosper over evil every time. And that is why we have been in government for 10 years straight with no opposition seats in the parliament. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hi.
Hi.
To quickly say happy birthday to one of the greatest, if not the, one of the greatest statesmen of the Caribbean. Bye.
Thank you. Yes, and the accolades keep coming in because the man is great. It's undeniable. He is a supreme politician, a political genius. He is a master at economics. And that is why when the NDC got out of government talking about an economic crisis, the first thing this man did was met with all of the financial institutions to find a way out of the mess that we were put in because of poor governance. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Duncan.
Good morning.
I'd like to just wish you parents best wishes. I know, as we said before, he's a very exemplary person.
He is.
But sometime last week, I heard a voice of a woman bawling on the radio station that the government owed them so much money and they would demonstrate and this sort of thing. Surprisingly, this morning, that the government doesn't have much to do with these people.
Well, not even much. They have absolutely nothing at all to do with it.
Only they are given a subvention.
Yeah, of $14 million.
But how is that the people in Tamsi don't know that?
It's not that they don't know. You see, sometimes we try to put... We Grenadians are so politically charged. And we are... Some of us are pushed a little by a little political force in the background that says, okay, well, if you do this, this is going to be the outcome. So we do things not being mindful of the impact that it has on the country. So when they go on television and say, oh, well, the government owes them X, Y, and Z, then people in Grenada start saying, oh, well, the government owe everybody, and they're talking about the economy booming, and they try to make it seem as if this administration is lying to the public. But truth always prevails over lies. So eventually the truth will come out. And that is a conversation we had yesterday, where we were saying that how could you say you respect people when you're telling lies that are so easily verifiable?
That's a very serious thing. These people really behave themselves and stop this nonsense.
Yeah.
Have a good day, Uncle.
You too. You too. So it warms my heart to hear our Grenadian people expressing themselves and letting the other party know that they are not fools, that they listen to what they say and they understand what they're trying to do. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Hello, caller. Good morning. Caller, are you there? All right, we seem to have lost that one. So our Prime Minister in all of his...
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, Miss Duncan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good man is here.
Welcome, Green Man.
I want to send out greetings from my loving Prime Minister. I'm very working hard, so I want to say keep up the good work. And let God be with him all the time, coming in and out.
Yes.
So tell him I love him.
We will definitely pass that message
All right,
on.
So have a nice day.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Yes. So, and the thing is, it's not a lot of them. Well, I ain't getting a chance to talk this morning. Good morning, caller. Oh, no, it seems like we lost that caller. You know, and when we hear all of these terrible things about our Prime Minister, look at the things that he has allowed Grenada to accomplish. I mean, so many things. When we got back into government in 2018, in 2013, let's go from 2013, the unemployment rate was 40%. The unemployment rate at this point is somewhere in the figure of 14%. Just think about that for a moment, right? The debt to GDP ratio, which was 108% in 2013 when we took over government, is now 61.2%. And the budget is coming up on Wednesday, and we may hear something different. It may be lower. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, lady.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, Bull speaking.
Good morning, Bull.
You hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you, but you need to listen to me on the telephone and not on the radio.
I'm listening to no radio, yeah?
Oh, okay. Because we're hearing the radio in the background.
Are they in the room?
Okay.
I just want to wish my brother a pleasant, happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know who is my brother?
Yeah?
Dr. the Right Honorable.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, but and that lady make a plan to call me back yesterday.
Yes, and we did try calling you, but we have to gather some information first so that when we call you, we have information to give you.
So he didn't come too?
No, well, we're still gathering the information.
Yeah, I didn't get no call again yesterday.
Yeah, well, we still have to look.
But that is not for today. We're not talking about that today. We're just talking about the boss birthday, and may the Lord help him.
Absolutely.
To give him more strength.
Yeah.
And tell Kim and them, Kim Jones, tell them they have a long wait. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Tell them they have a long wait.
Yeah.
And they will never see a government like them come in office in a long time.
Yeah.
You see, they're wicked. He just wicked, especially Kim Jones. He must learn to check himself. Yeah. And he will let them stay how he is all the days of his life. He will never see his way. Because he like to beg. He beg to damn much. Kim talking about me ban on them and me hand, you know. And me pen on them in my pocket.
Don't let him get you riled up, boy.
Well, he can get me because I don't rock him in tongue, you know. Yes, I don't rock him in tongue.
Yeah, don't let...
rock him in tongue. They must learn to humble and stop the begging. He begged too damn much. Respect you.
Yeah.
So, Kit Mitchell will all time remain in power because he's a humble man.
Yes, he is.
He have a lot of love from the people.
He does.
Yeah. As you mentioned the word a good while ago, good all time prevail over evil.
Absolutely.
And that is what happening. Them people love goodness, and he doing a good work.
Yep.
He love people. He don't hate nobody. It's the NDC and them that hate people. Bernadine self, she don't even know what today is. She must humble too, talking about we rigged the election and we thief.
With no proof.
With no proof. But anyhow, happy birthday again to my Prime Minister, and may the Lord help him, and may he go forward, and may everything remain just as it is, and progress in this country is very, very good,
Yes.
very high.
Yes.
So all the best again, and may the Lord help him in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you so much, caller, for such a passionate birthday greeting to our Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister has done so much, along with the team that he has selected to stand by his side and lead this country. They have done so much, even for workers in Grenada, right? We have to take into consideration that from 2013 to present, government workers have consistently received their salaries on time. There was a point in time between 2008 and 2013 that they didn't know which day in the following month they would receive their salary, you know? And you didn't hear a word from them. You didn't hear a political, you didn't hear a union come out and say, oh, well, give them their money. And you didn't hear that. You know, and it is my firm belief, and this is just my opinion, that the only reason, and I'm saying this publicly because it is undisputable, that the only reason that the unions and the public workers are behaving in this manner and making so much noise is because they know that this administration is the only administration that has and will ever pass through Grenada that can give them anything close to what they deserve or what they are asking for. And that is an undisputed fact. So the only reason they're jumping up and making noise is simply because they know that only Dr. Mitchell and his team is able to deliver. We have a last caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hello, and good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful.
I'm good. Today is the Prime Minister's birthday.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and I want to wish him God's blessing. I want to wish him all the best as he go on, and that he will get added strength, added wisdom, continual understanding, that he will continue to go forward and not bothering with the distractors, but doing what God will have him to do. And probably all this pronouncement we are making to the Prime Minister, that the people feeling everything is over, but you could naturally see is the hatred and all this thing, and we don't need that for today.
No, we do not.
But the blessing of the Lord will continue to rest
Absolutely.
on him as he go forward. And mine's not far away from Dr. Mitchell, you know.
Really?
Mine is just now. Mine is the 25th.
Oh, wow, yes.
Coming up. And my son, the 22nd.
Yeah.
Yes. So you take care. And to tell the honest truth, you all doing such a fantastic... I have to say you all, because everybody that come on the program, they are going fantastic.
Yeah.
So you all just do as you are, and just let the public know what it is taking place, and that we could move from strength to strength. God
Absolutely.
bless you. Have a good day. And
You
as
as
the
well.
gentleman said, enjoy your lunch.
I will.
So you have to enjoy your lunch today, okay?
I will.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. So, guys, we've come to the end of our program. And, of course, as per usual, it's always a pleasure being here with you, sharing the facts with you, hearing about your concerns, and allowing you an opportunity to share your concerns with us. Of course, in whatever you say and whatever you do, be safe, be secure. We want to be speaking with you and not about you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Program. And of course, as per usual, it's always a pleasure being here.
Technical Assistance Program for Sustainable Energy in the Caribbean, poised to help the Caribbean achieve renewable energy goals. Details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the details to the news for Monday, November 11th, 2019, I am Sherry-Ann Noel. Policy, information, capacity, and finance. These are the three expected areas of results under the program Technical Assistance for Sustainable Energy in the Caribbean, TAPSEC, as part of efforts to ensure access to all CARIFORUM citizens to modern, clean, and reliable energy supplies at affordable and stable prices. Officials from the program were part of a recent two-day forum on technology exploration at the Radisson Beach Resort. It brought together more than 50 experts in marine energy, representatives of international agencies and researchers to advance their agenda and improve the environment for a cost reduction strategy for marine renewable energy. TAPSEC's program leader Simon Zellner told the Government Information Service the program is well poised to play a key role in reinforcing the region's new low-carbon development policy.
We want to see at the end, and this is the second thing where the region would benefit also, is we want to see real projects, investment projects. We want to see solar PV installations on the ground. We want to see wind power. We want to see ocean technologies, at least on a further advanced stage from the project development side here. So that's our main interest, to really make a change and working on the policy, on the policies and legislation, on the regulatory framework, which allow for these investments then later on.
He says TAPSEC is satisfied with the role of CARICOM and stakeholders to create awareness and seek options towards the implementation of renewable energy power.
Very satisfied. It always takes a little while to get such a big project started. We have a volume of 15.3 million euro for technical assistance, but we are in a stage where we really reach out now to the CARICOM member states. We work also with the Dominican Republic, where we do the work actually on the ground, where we are engaging with project developers, with national entities, and we have established a really well and close relation to key regional institutions, such the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, CCRE, the Caribbean Development Bank, CrossQ, and so on. So I think we are really on a good way, and I'm really satisfied at the moment.
Moving along, Grenada's 34-member OECS swim team beat all the odds to ensure that the country retains the OECS swim title for the 5th consecutive year. The victorious team returned home Sunday night accompanied by Sports Minister Senator Nolan Cox, who was on hand to witness the team's performance over 3 days of competition. The Grenada Amateur Swimming Association says following 3 days of intense competition, Grenada remained triumphant against the OECS counterparts, ending the competition with 1,249 points, followed by St. Lucia with 1,121.5 points, St. Vincent in third with 1,116, Antigua with 794, and St. Kitts and Nevis with 57.5 points. The team also established 9 new OECS records and walked away with 5 age group titles. President of GASA, Perron Johnson, who also accompanied the team, highlighted that the realization of the OECS Championship for the 5th consecutive year is a team effort. The 2020 OECS Swim Championship will head to St. Lucia for 2020. Grenada looks forward to the establishment of the National Aquatic Facility in order to be considered as a host venue in the near future. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Did you join the public service on or after February 22nd, 1985 and have since retired? This might be important to you. Government understands that the NIS pension may be insufficient to take care of your needs. So, while it awaits the court's ruling on the matter of pension for public officers, government has taken action to protect your quality of life so that you can take care of your needs in the meantime. Persons who joined the public service on or after February 22nd, 1985 and serve continuously in an established position for a minimum 26 years and 8 months and retired at age 60 may be eligible to receive an advance payment, which when combined with NIS represents 70% of their last salary. For more information, call or visit the Pension Secretariat in the Department of Public Administration, Ministerial Complex, 440-3767.
Welcome back. Grenada joined its Commonwealth counterparts in commemorating Remembrance Day on Sunday. The day is observed annually as a Memorial Day to mark the end of the First World War and to honor members of the armed forces who died in the line of duty. Traditionally, Remembrance Day is recognized on the 11th of November. However, since the 11th fell on a Monday, the procession on Wreath Lane was held on Sunday. Members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, cadets, nurses, pathfinders, and Girl Guides marched from the fire station to the Sir Eric Matthew Gerry Botanical Gardens as part of the observance. The Wreath Lane was followed by a short blessing. Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenade, Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Acting Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin, and other dignitaries were present at the short ceremony held at the Sir Eric Matthew Gerry Botanical Garden. And that story just brought an end to the National Report for Monday, November 11th, 2019. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.